All is one. P.A. Finley, Anonymous, TheUniVerse. I'm going to go ahead and skip the pleasantries. Shout out to Victorville, California. That's where I'm at. Sorry, I'm just making this video commentary. I'm gonna switch it around and take a look at me right quick. I'm not in the best of conditions, so I'm not. Usually, I like to be talking all into the, you know what I mean, like hollering at y'all. But I'm chilling. It's hot. It's like 100 degrees out here in Victorville, California. So I'm watching. I don't know. I've been in the ANDOR state of mind lately. This ANDOR, Star Wars, the series ANDOR, 2 series. It's June 25th, 2025. You guys, it's Wednesday, and I'm just saying, you guys. So this guy is right here. I've been watching all things Andor. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody, it's all kind of, content creators on. This is YouTube right now. I'm watching. There's content creators talking about this stuff. I mean, everybody's talking about Andor, bro. When it comes to content creators and YouTubers and podcasters, everybody's talking about 2 things. Everybody's talking about right now: Sinners by Ryan Coogler and Andor. I mean, God bless it. I mean, they're everywhere. Everybody's. I mean, because you're getting a lot of hits, getting a lot of views when you put these 2 names, Andor and Sinners. And I wonder what I'm gonna have to put both of those names in. Try to see what kind of clickbait I can get. It's like talking about Andor and Sinners. This dude crazy. But I'm gonna tell you something. Okay, so my opinion, P.A. Finley, Anonymous, TheUniVerse. Usually I don't give reviews. I don't talk about. I don't do reactions. I don't do all that stuff. I mean, which is okay because I watch most of that stuff. But what can I say? Andor has moved me. I'm an OG. I'm 58 years old, brother. I was there when it came out, when first Star Wars came out. I was there. I was in elementary school at the time, and I was there when you wasn't the one. It was like you was learning at that time. At that time, I learned that you ain't in unless you in. I mean, that was my introduction. Star Wars was the introduction of, if you ain't with it, you ain't in. And what I mean is, at that time in school, Cass was bringing Star Wars figures. It was all about the Star Wars movie, and everybody was talking about it. So, this is elementary. Now, at that time, adults was talking about it, just like we was at work. And it just, so there was this buzz. And if you didn't see the movie, you couldn't talk about the movie. Now, I was an individual going to school, elementary. I didn't see the movie. So I couldn't talk about it, but I talked about it anyway, like I did see it. Dude, that's because you learn quickly that you're the outside of the conversation. Why is you outside the conversation? So there's this conversation, there's this circle, and you're in it or you're out of it. And I don't know, the outskirts of it was boring. It was nothing. It was nothing happening on the outskirts of that circle. But inside the circle was everything. So I was being introduced to, dude, you got to be in the circle in order to you know what I'm saying? You can't be outside the circle. So even though I'm not a reactor, you know, I don't do reviews because I mostly, you know, here at NexA.R.K, man, we mostly just talk about, you know, the deepness, you know, the rabbit hole, you know, the matrix rabbit hole, how deep it goes. So that's what I like to do mostly. But every once in a while, man, something happens, and I gotta make us. I feel compelled to say something about, and that's what this is, ANDOR. So ANDOR, if you don't know, I think everybody knows by now who ANDOR is and what ANDOR is about. I'm not even gonna do a recap of nothing on it because I'm just gonna assume if you clicked on it, then you know what ANDOR is. So Star Wars has been lacking lately. Matter of fact, just last night I was watching IRONHEART. You know, it just came out on the 24th. It just came out. IRONHEART first three episodes. It's a 6-episode season, and they just dropped 3 episodes back to back to back on Disney Plus, and I'm sitting here watching it. And I gotta say, it's a lot. It's very, you know, I'm gonna support that anyway because I'm a black man, and there you go. I'm gonna support my folks. I did that with Sinners, and I did that with the Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I'm the guy that buys 3 seats just for myself. If I support you, I support you. You know what I mean? At the movies, you know. So here it is, man. IRONHEART come out, and the first 3 episodes I watched them back to back to back, and I get it, you know. So I'm gonna have to name. I'm gonna name these ANDOR, Sinners, and IRONHEART. But anyhow, I don't get all kind of clickbait from this one. But anywho, let me go backwards, man. I'm gonna touch back on IRONHEART in a minute. The first episode, I can tell you right off the bat, I know people fell off because it was a slow setup. Now, if you only got 6 episodes in a season, to me, you gotta hit the ground running. You can't be playing around because you got stuff to do. You got 6 episodes. So they did the 1, 2, 3 shot, and that's half of the season. So half the season gone. You know? And the first episode was, oh my God, I know I finished this whole episode because I'm a fan of Ryan Coogler and I'm a supporter of his work, and you know, I'm backing my folks and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to do that regardless, right? But I know half people like halfway in, it was like, dude, I'm out. You know what I mean? I know people was out because if I was anybody else, I'd be out, you know? So, but it ended with a bang, though. See, I watched the whole thing and sat through the whole thing, and it was story building and character building and world building. And I'm sitting there like, okay. And then the end came, and the cliffhanger dropped on you. Like, okay, they did that. So I was with it. I'm like, okay, let's go. You know, the second one. You know, I know a lot of people didn't hang out to the end, but that's okay. Those who did got rewarded. So there you go. And then they heard the next day, which is today, they like, man, you better check out that second, boy. You better check out the rest of that first one, boy. That first one in with a bang, boy. And then you're going to be like, oh, man, let me go back and finish it. You know what I mean? So, and then the second one, you kind of waiting, and you know, you wait, you know, you like, okay, it should bang. at the second and third one's supposed to bang, right? Especially how you ended the first. So second and third one gonna bang. You know, you like, okay, let's do this, baby. We rolling now, we rolling. And then you like, okay, it's another slow build up, bro. Slow, man, the slow cooker, bro. And it's like, okay, but and then you get to the end and it's another cliffhanger, it's another twist at the end, but it ain't as banging as the first. So you like, okay, so now you already 2 in, so you might as well go and do the third one. So I binge on the third one. And I'm like, I mean, my folks, man, so I gotta give them thumbs up. I'm gonna do that anyway, right? Because I love my folks, right? So I'm gonna thumb it up anyway, regardless. I'm gonna pump it up. But my goodness gracious, I'm looking at it how everybody else looking at it. You know what I mean? I know people is like, and people want to hate on it anyway. So it's like, God, you giving them too much fodder. You giving them too much to hate on. You know, it's you know. So I'm supportive. I'm gonna watch the second, third, then the second half, and the three, and finish it. And you know, it's all good. I'm sure it's gonna bang. No, it's gonna bang. The way they finished the first one, I know they got bang in them. So I know bang is coming. So I'm gonna go ahead and watch the whole thing. You know, that's that. Okay, so that's Ironheart. Now I'm gonna do the backwards thing. I'm gonna go backwards with it. Go back. I'm gonna hit Sinners now. Now, Sinners, everybody knows Sinners is Bombay. Everybody knows Sinners is out the park. Everybody knows that's a hit. That's a hit. That's a hit. In 15 different ways, that's a hit. So I ain't got much to add on with nobody else talking about. Everybody else is pretty much hitting it. They know what they talking about. It's Bombay. Michael B. Shout out to Michael B. Doing the double up. I know the ladies loving that. 2 Michael B's. How you gonna be mad at 2 Michael B's? You know, to the ladies. I know they loving that. So, and you got 2 different kinds of Michael B's. So I know ladies just loving that. So, and shout out to Haley Seinfeld. She knocked that freaking thing out the park too. She wasn't no joke, man. As a matter of fact, you had kids up in there. You had to cover their ears on a couple of. She was a beast. Anyway, so she played a role, did her thing, and then the new guy, the first time on screen guy, the youngster, he knocked it out. Everybody knocked that thing out, man. Everybody knocked it out. It was out the park. I saw it at the movies 3 times, 3 seats every time I'm going. I go solo, man. I usually try to grab somebody, but nobody be wanting to go, and it's just so much of a headache trying to get people to go somewhere. So I usually just. Plus, I be in the moment anyway. I'm going to the movies. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna go see this thing again. So Sinners is the stuff, man. And kudos, shout out to Ryan Coogler, bro. He's a, you know, I give him his props, and I give him his props, man. I give him daps, man. He's an amazing human being, and he's very humble. I like the fact how humble he is. And kudos to the best to him and his family, his wife, and everything, man. Just much love. He representing. So there you go. ANDOR, bro. And Dizzle. 2 seasons. Star Wars. Shout out to everybody on that bad boy, man. Everybody was a monster. Everybody was beast mode. The setting, everything, the storyline. Now, they put some gangster stuff up in there, man. They put, they had an episode. Everybody been. As a matter of fact, let me hook that back up so we can see. Right when I pause this one,
This is Judy and Pedro. They just bought their first home.
Well, I'll pause this one is where
things like this too.
this gentleman sitting on the ground, he talking about he responding to somebody else hating on the rape episode where they heavily implied rape. And that was the third episode. So, I mean, that's, it's like when you want something to complain about, it's like if you got a masterpiece, which is what Andor is, by the way, as far as viewing Star Wars content. When you watch something that's great taking place right in front of your eyes, if you're looking for what's wrong, you're going to find it. The name of the game is what the heck is you looking for and why. If you look, I'm the guy that's always looking for something right. I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? I try to focus up and make sure that my mind is focused on the blessings, man. Look, blessings and pluses and minuses, blessings and curses is everywhere. I'm just that guy tuned in to the blessings, man, and the pluses, bro. So because I know that's how you win, that's how you come up, that's how you elevate, that's how you grow, that's how you evolve, bro. I'm with all of that. You know what I mean? So this gentleman here, he's actually responding to somebody else complaining. Yeah, he's all for it. He's the number one. He's one thumbs up. He's the guy that's like, he's like plus this guy. So I ain't trying to put no bad spotlight, but he is responding to the next person who's crying about, man, they could have kept that out of there, man. This is Star Wars, man. This is, you know what I'm saying, and mainly for kids. Kids don't want to hear. Look, man, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna close because I don't want to make this too long. But I can say this, man. Lightsaber battles. That's why I paused, because he got to talking about lightsaber battles. Look, man, violence is implied in Star Wars. I mean, the name itself is violent with wars. Half of the name is violent. So violence is implied. Now, Disney and Star Wars and Lucasfilms and all that, they always try to imply the violence. When the violence comes, they try to imply it. Even the lightsaber battles and the stormtrooper battles, and but people is dying on screen. So now they went to the next level with this rape attempt, and put that on screen. So I was bold of them to do that. I was bold of them to do that because, I mean, with the Empire, bro, come on, man, that's going on, right? We know that's happening, but it's implied that it's happening. See, they don't focus on Andor. Oh, they putting highlights on all, there ain't no implications. They highlighting the violence, they highlighting the death, they highlighting the, you know what I mean? They like, dude, this is what's going on both sides of the coin, the Empire and the Rebellion. They let you know, dude, it's funky on both sides. And, it's a more grown-up series. Andor is a more grown-up. Andor is the precursor to Rogue One, the movie Rogue One. So everything leads up to that. But anyway, bottom line is, people are complaining online, content creators is complaining left and right about, episode 3, man. Nobody really likes the first 3 episodes anyway of season 2, Andor. So nobody, you had to sit through the first 3 seasons, the first 3 episodes of season 2. You just did. When Andor got, captured and detained. I mean, it was almost like, No Way Out in the first season, but it was by a group of idiots. So it was, yeah, it's like that. You got to sit through 3 episodes of that, But and you also had in the last episode 3, you also had the rape attempt. But whatever. He didn't go through with it. He didn't make it happen. They didn't actually They didn't actually show it. You know what I mean? Like they didn't actually. He came up short. He didn't. He didn't succeed. He got took out. The lady took him out. So, you know, So it wasn't as bad as people make it. They act like it's like they actually showed something happening or something. But bottom line is the name of this doggone franchise is Star Wars. So, the all idea and program represents Star Peace. So it is what it is, right? It is what it is, but don't trip, man. They relating everything to real life anyway. Star Wars is all about real life anyway. They're showing our history like in space. So they and they use that as a platform to say how they feel about certain things that's happening right now today. So it is what it is, right? It's creative, but it's a great watch. It's a great lot of great acting, a lot of great performances, a lot of great every scenes, and you got your bum stuff up in there too. That's what it is. But for the most part, that stuff is Bombay. All right, listen, let me get you up out of here. I just wanted to respond and let it be known that while people are complaining about what should and shouldn't be in a Star Wars, we need to understand whether it's a series or a movie. We need to understand, man, that doggone wars is in the title of Star Wars. So let's not be too doggone sensitive. We're very sensitive these days. But check it out if you haven't checked it out, man. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share. No, like, subscribe, leave a comment, share, preferably in that order. And y'all know what time it is. Be the universe that you are. Peace. And one is all.